So the past few days, as I've been able to get to the greenhouse and work on it, I've been putting in these anchors to hold it down in case there's a strong wind. So here's one. We've got 5 on each side. Now I've got that done. I just bought parts today to be able to actually finish the connection from that to the pipe, which I'm not worried about doing that immediately, but we'll do that soon. But now it's time to build the front wall here. The front is going to have a big rectangular roll up. The plastic will roll up big enough for the tractor to drive in here. So I'm about to start taking some really long 4x4s and put one on this side, one over here on this side, and a cross piece in between to make that big opening. The greenhouse is designed to have those on both sides, but we don't want a gigantic door every time we want to come in. So I think on this side, we're going to build that same frame, but then we're going to frame in some smaller openings, like to probably put a storm door over here so we can walk in and out and not disturb. You know, rolling up the big door might let all the heat out if we're trying to hold in heat. So that's the plan right now. I'll probably repeat it a couple of times on various videos. So right now I need to start digging a post hole here, and then I don't know, but so that's what I need to start on right now is that post hole. Fortunately, we got a nice drenching rain last night that was not too strong where it all ran off. You know, it was overnight, but I could just hear by how strong the rain was that it was a nice soaking rain. So that's really good. Might give me a little bit of help on trying to dig that hole. Just put my 4x4s under the tarp to keep the sun from warping them. And you can see them sticking out down there at the end. The tarp easily covers 12 feet. And then there's 2 or 3 more feet sticking out because they're 16 footers. There's supposed to be a partial eclipse today, so I'm grabbing a couple sawhorses. I'm gonna put a box or create a dark space somehow. You could use a tarp over some kind of frame, or a big box like an appliance box is perfect. So I'm setting that up right now. We're gonna use the telescope as a projector to shine into the dark space and project an image of the sun, which hopefully is gonna be real big. I've done it before where the sun was at least 1.5 feet wide. So it's really cool to see an image like that. Okay, I got my box ready. I put a sheet of white paper in the back of it. It's not quite flat, so I might have to, I might have to stick some pins in it or something to get it nice and flat. Hopefully we'll get a good focus on there. So there, the telescope's all set up. You can see the sun inside the box being projected onto the white paper. So that's coming out of the eyepiece. The eyepiece is becoming a projector. And by the way, never look at the sun through a telescope. It would be extremely damaging to your eyes. But even though the eclipse hasn't shown on here yet, we do see some sunspots. I'm going to wiggle the telescope and you can see the image of the telescope, or the image of the sun moving around. And these two spots here are sunspots on the surface of the sun. So even if you weren't looking at a solar eclipse, you can just look at the sun with the telescope, projecting it this way to just see sunspots and things on the surface of the sun.
Yeah, with all 4.
Yeah. This is Phil, one of our neighbors. He's helping out with digging the post holes on the front and the back for making these walls. Do you need to say hello to anybody?
No, hello. Got it.
Oops, I missed that. I want to say thank you again to Phil. He did all the digging. He helped me set the posts up so we could get a clamp on them. Now I'm going to pour the concrete in the holes. We got all 4 posts done in a short period of time. So I wouldn't have had this much done. It's Friday afternoon, and I definitely wouldn't have. I wouldn't have had 1 post in because I wouldn't have had all the holes dug. I did all that and found out that I made a mistake, and the eclipse is tomorrow, and it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. So you can see the clouds are already coming in. They're beautiful this time of day. The clouds are breaking up a little bit, so maybe we could see this eclipse. I'm gonna go ahead and put the telescope back out again. I see some blue sky coming here and there, and so it might work out. There, we're getting a little bit of sunlight and it's going away again. Wait a minute, it's coming back.
Oh.
You can actually see the clouds blow across.
It's coming.
There, you can see the clouds blowing across. Let's see if I can get it more centered again. So we can see those same sunspots from yesterday. So we can see that it's moved a little bit. It's covered up one of the sunspots. Today we built this beam across here to straighten the front so it's flatter. And then now we've got plywood here and here, but we want to try to get as much as we can all across here. So that's what we're doing.
the video that I watch, they're just trying to get
them flat and not
as flat as possible.
That looks good.
You know, because they kind of they kind of roll over, I guess, as it grows. The outside does.
Yeah. Maybe you don't have enough rock in your soil over here.
Right.
We can bring you some.
I'll pass on the rock.
This is the same crook that Rico bought for me. And I'm sure you couldn't see it in the video because it was moving too fast, but the lamb was running by and Rico just caught its back leg and snagged it. So it was, everybody cheered.
Good girl. We should have done. What is this?
They seem to
I
like
guess that's
it.
where they lay down. We should have done and like